The holiday, the final exam break is over for the UMass Lowell Hockey Riverhawks. It will be back to action on Sunday afternoon, a 4 o'clock start at the Sanger Center. They host Bentley College. Joining us now, the head coach of your Riverhawks, Norm Bazin. Norm, first, welcome.
Nice to be with you, Bob, and Merry Christmas.
And secondly, I hope the holiday season's been a good one for you and your family and all involved.
Oh, it was outstanding. It was quiet, but we had a lot of fun, and the kids enjoyed it immensely.
Not to detract from the hockey talk, any favorite Christmas you had as a kid when maybe you got your first pair of skates or some gloves that you'd wanted?
You hit the nail on the head. It was the first pair of gloves I received when I was, I think, 7 years old. And for whatever reason, I remember those gloves to this day. So that was an exceptional Christmas, and I had good ones afterwards, but those pair of gloves really stood out.
Now we get ready to go from 2012 to 2013 in just a few days. The midpoint, though really not the midpoint of the schedule, but I will ask anyway, what sort of report card would you give the team for arguably the first half of the schedule?
Well, the first half, I think, in my mind, was split up into different areas. Overall, I'd probably give us a B-C. I thought we played some tough competition. Obviously, we didn't do as well in some games that we would have liked. However, I thought near the end we came on, so it should be an exciting second half.
I was going to say, finished out the first half with back-to-back shutouts, winning 4 of your last 6. Did you feel, let's take scores out of it, let's take record out of it, did you feel as though this team finished the first half of the schedule playing the type of hockey that you wanted to see them play?
No question. Whenever you finish off with a few shutouts, you got to be pleased, or else you'll never be pleased. However, I thought different points in the season, even if we lost a few of those games, I was very pleased with some of the effort. The effort's been strong. I think some of the execution has been inconsistent at times, and partly because of the youth, partly because of people being in different positions, but that's okay. We've got 20 games left. We only played 14, so the bulk of our schedule is ahead of us. So we just got to keep going in the right direction.
In effect, this is about a 3-week layoff between games, and at least a portion of that, nobody's been on the ice. Now they're back this week working, getting ready. Is it almost like starting the season over again, or is it very easy to get back to, if you will, mid-season form?
Well, it's not as easy as we think. The energy this week has been tremendous. I'm very pleased with that. But it is a tale of two seasons. The first half being 14 games, the second half being 20. The bulk of our schedule is coming up, and January is our busiest month. So I'm excited to play a lot of games.
Starts on Sunday against Bentley. They are a member of the Atlantic Hockey Association. And I know often observers and fans kind of scoff at the Atlantic Conference. But looking at some of the teams in the Atlantic Conference and the record they've had in non-conference games at times can be impressive. I guess this is an opponent you have to take very, very seriously.
Yeah, we take everyone seriously. Whenever you play a team who's got the top scorer in the country and one of the top defenseman scorers in the country with a preseason top 5 goalie in the country, you got to take them seriously. We're looking forward to playing some hockey. We want to play our game. But we do respect Bentley, and we look forward to a great game.
I know as much as we talk about Hockey East being the most competitive conference in the country, it's a very thin line that separates winning from losing, whether you're playing in Hockey East or you're playing a non-conference opponent, no matter who that is.
No question. If you look at Hockey East, apart from really UNH and Boston College right now, 3 through 10 are up for grabs, and I mean that. I think it's there's a few points separating 3 through 8, but not that many. And on the flip side, there's not much separating 8 through 10. So let's be honest. We have to put our best foot forward. We have to have our best efforts coming up here in the month of January because we're going to play big.
What are the keys to the second half?
Well, I think overall consistency. I think staying healthy is very important. With a whole month off from school, I think the kids have to take care of their bodies, take care of themselves, and we have to stay healthy, if and when possible. And we really have to show the level of urgency that is necessary in crucial in-league matchups. And that's not to say you don't play with urgency when you play non-conference teams. It means when 4-point games are coming up on your schedule, and you put your best foot forward in those situations.
Do you begin to see that urgency as the first half concluded Northeastern, our final Hockey East game. Was that urgency there?
Yeah, both those last two games was tremendous. I thought that it displayed itself in the net front battles, in the clears on the penalty kill, a little bit on the power play as far as taking eyes away and jamming the net. So those three areas in particular, I was very pleased with.
I suppose I should mention, because when our defense was having trouble becoming part of the offense, I was quick to mention it. So I should mention, last time we watched this team on the ice, first 3 goals were scored by defensemen.
Yeah, we were pleased to see that. It's nice for them to break through. They've had a monkey on their back here for a while, and they certainly contributed and led the way in the last game. So our penalty kill, I believe the last 4 games, has given up maybe 1. So it's been very strong, and we want to keep that trend.
I know we're fond of saying at this point in the season, freshmen are no longer freshmen. I just want your impressions on this recruiting class that you brought in. We've seen a number of freshman forwards play and contribute. We've seen several freshman defensemen, and in one case a newcomer to Division I, though he played college hockey in Joe Houck. We've seen, as I say, new faces on the defense corps, and we got a goaltender, a freshman with back-to-back shutouts. Any report card on the recruiting class?
I'm fairly happy with the young kids, to be honest with you. I felt I would be, but you never know until they play some games, and you got to let them get at least 10 games under their belt before you even come to any determination as to whether they're going to make the transition or not. And so far, I've been very pleased. I look for the second half to be a different challenge, because, no, you're right, we don't treat them like freshmen anymore. Now they're just a regular player, and they're expected to know the systems as well as a junior would be. And when they do know all the systems down pat, and they have that information at hand, the transition is done. So now you hold them to a higher standard in some respect. And I'm looking forward for them to get some more games under their belt so they can display more offense to us.
All right. And finally, Bentley on Sunday. Keys, objectives on Sunday afternoon?
Well, I think habits are first and foremost on my agenda here. Getting back to good habits, to stopping at net front, to taking away eyes, to doing all the little things it takes to be successful offensively. Number 2 is playing a strong defensive game. Despite people's thoughts about offense, defense does play a huge part in wins and losses, and we want to get back to playing a team defense game where guys are back checking hard and certainly clearing net front and doing the little things to help our goaltender. And number 3, I think special teams. We mention it all the time. I thought we ended up strong with, I believe, a couple power play goals and not giving up any on the penalty kill against Harvard. So let's see if we can let that be a domino effect leading into the new year.
All right. Well, remind people, Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock, the Songas Center. UMass Lowell hosts Bentley. Coach Norm Bazin, thank you very much for your time.
Bob, it was my pleasure.